You won't believe how fast things went sideways the moment Alicia bent down to grab the mail. She's carrying a gun. Somebody call 911. Victoria Hale, the HOA president, screamed like she'd just spotted a monster in her yard, waving her bloated 200-page rule book like it was a weapon. And just like that, 3 squad cars screeched into Ridgewood Park, officers jumping out with guns drawn, neighbors spilling on the sidewalks, mouths hanging open. Have you ever seen someone lie so convincingly that even the police believe them? That's what Victoria had managed, and she was dead set on driving Malcolm and Alicia Price out of their own home. Before we dive deeper, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing the map light up. Malcolm and Alicia had spent years saving for this house. The keys should have felt like victory, like finally arriving at the dream. But as Malcolm stepped out of the truck, pride swelled only to be replaced by unease. Every house was the same trimmed lawns, identical mailboxes, flowers lined like soldiers. More cookie-cutter army base than dream neighborhood. And there she was, Victoria Hale, arms crossed, stiff as a statue, a thick binder clutched against her chest like it was sacred scripture. Not a smile, not a wave, just scrutiny. Alicia, still in casual clothes after her shift, had her service pistol holstered at her hip, standard practice for a 20-year cop. Malcolm watched the moment Victoria's gaze locked onto it. That wasn't fear, oh no, that was calculation. In seconds, Victoria clacked across the pavement in designer heels, plastered-on smile ready. "Welcome to Ridgewood Park," she cooed, shoving the massive binder into Malcolm's hands before he could say a word. "I'm Victoria Hale, HOA president. This is your copy of our guidelines. Please read it thoroughly before unpacking." The weight nearly knocked him over 200 pages of rules, restrictions, and threats disguised as community standards. Victoria's tone then sharpened. She nodded at Alicia's hip, a hint of accusation in her voice. "That firearm looks used. Fired recently, perhaps?" Alicia lifted an eyebrow, cool as ever. "I'm a police officer. Of course it's been fired." Victoria smirked. "Police? How fascinating. I've dealt with your kind before." The venom in her tone was unmistakable, but Malcolm had learned to read the subtext. She was hunting for leverage. By the end of that day, Victoria had measured their fence with a tape, listed a dozen violations, nitpicked moving boxes, delivery pizza, even the shade of their moving blankets. Every jab was precise, targeted harassment masquerading as rule enforcement. The next morning, Victoria returned, this time dragging a wiry man in an oversized suit. "This is Martin Blake from our safety committee," she announced. Malcolm froze as Martin handed him a formal-looking notice. Mandatory fence replacement within 30 days. Estimated cost, $50,000. 50 grand for a perfectly fine fence. Victoria's smile widened. "Oh, it doesn't meet our new standards. Since a police officer lives here, the requirements are higher for everyone's safety, of course." And then she slipped a brochure into his hands. Secure Home Solutions, the only approved contractor for Ridgewood Park. Malcolm's stomach sank. Everything about it reeked of rehearsal. He asked what would happen if they used another company. Victoria's smile flickered. "That would be unwise. Approval could take months. Meanwhile, $500 a day in fines." Neighbors whispered warnings. Frank Dawson, watering his lawn, leaned in. "Just pay it." The Johnsons fought last year, lost their house. But Malcolm wasn't about to roll over. That afternoon, he dug deeper. On the surface, Secure Home Solutions looked legit. But every testimonial came from Ridgewood Park residents, and all sounded eerily similar. Then he found the registration papers. Owner L. Hannity. It clicked when he stumbled across a wedding announcement. Victoria Hannity had married Edward Hale. Secure Home Solutions was her company, hidden in plain sight. The entire setup? A scam. Alicia came home to stacks of files. She skimmed them, jaw set. This is fraud. She's milking the HOA to feed her own company. Malcolm expected fury, But Alicia leaned back, calm steel in her eyes. We do this my way. Make her think she's winning while we build a case she can't escape. She held up her phone. B. Miller, fired for evidence tampering 20 years ago. Malcolm's stomach dropped. Victoria wasn't just petty, she had a history. By day 5, Malcolm had quietly recorded every interaction. One clip even captured Victoria's laugh, gossiping with neighbors about the new residents. Her online posts painted them as hostile, threatening, dangerous. And by noon on day 7, the phone buzzed relentlessly. Friends, coworkers, distant relatives all reacting to Victoria's live stream. There she was, pearl necklace shining, voice trembling with fake fear. I feel unsafe. My neighbor's recording me. She carries a gun everywhere. 10,000 views, 50 to outrage spiraled. Alicia stayed ice calm. Let her dig her own grave, she told Malcolm. But then the 911 call, the one that nearly triggered disaster. Alicia bent to collect mail, gun holstered, when Victoria erupted from her door, shrieking into her phone, screaming that Alicia was threatening her life. Sirens cut through the neighborhood almost instantly. 3 patrol cars screeched to a halt. Officers leapt out, guns drawn. Drop the weapon. Hands up. Alicia froze, calm and firm. I'm a police officer. Badge in back pocket. I'll move slowly. Rookie cops quivered. Neighbors filmed. Tension sliced the air. Then Lieutenant James Porter pushed past, eyes landing on Alicia. Stand down. All of you. Stand down now. Chief Reed, just sworn in last month, confirmed her identity. Instantly, guns lowered, voices faltered. Victoria's plan was unraveling Liv, in front of dozens of neighbors recording every move. Victoria attempted to spin it, smile snapping into place, turning the tables. Well, isn't this convenient? A police chief intimidating innocent homeowners, but Alicia raised her voice, every word recorded, every call documented. Transparency, Malcolm realized, was their greatest weapon. For the first time, Victoria saw fear, the kind that comes when your own scheme collapses, live in front of an audience. By day 8, the hammer fell. Alicia faced forced suspension, pending investigation into conduct unbecoming. 20 years of spotless service weighed on her shoulders, tears quietly sliding down, silent fury contained. And then City Hall erupted. Mayor Whitaker called a press conference. Victoria Hale tried to frame herself as the victim, but investigative reporter Samantha Cruz had evidence linking Victoria to decades-old tampered evidence and financial corruption, revealing payments funneled through shell companies tied to the mayor. Chaos erupted. FBI agents confirmed an ongoing federal probe. What began as a petty HOA vendetta exploded into a citywide scandal. Mayor Whitaker was arrested. Victoria's influence crumbled, her live stream denials only fueling public outrage. The neighborhood dispute had exposed a deep web of corruption. And Alicia? Despite the suspension, she had stood her ground, letting truth and patience dismantle deception piece by piece. If you think Victoria got exactly what she deserved, smash that like button, share this story, and let's hear it though. Would you have handled a neighbor like that? Drop your thoughts below, because standing up to lies, scams, and corruption starts with telling the truth, and sometimes patience is the deadliest weapon of all.